Once again, MMA fighters prove that they know nothing about self-defense.
Get back!
Nice.
Get back!
Good.
Get back.
Good.
Get back!
Yeah, I was like, in the first thing, I'm thinking that's not going to work.
In this video, we have two world-class MMA fighters showing that just because you're an expert at one thing does not mean you're an expert at everything. Okay, while Chuck Liddell and Dan Hooker may be phenomenal MMA fighters, they do not understand the concept of self-defense and a street fight. They are looking at this video, a self-defense technique, from the mindset of a street fighter or an MMA fighter, not understanding that what they do is only about 20% of the actual tools needed to protect yourself in the street. Now, let's be clear. I'm not saying I'm a better fighter than either of these two individuals. Obviously, they would beat 99% of the people on the planet. But what I'm saying is that they do not understand the concepts behind self-defense that are not just about fighting. There's a different goal within self-defense than winning a street fight. A street fight is when you've both put your hands up and you're both swinging, and the goal is to win and sometimes to just get away and run, right? And when it goes to that kind of context, those two are going to be experts. But what this technique is showing is not how to fight. It's how to avoid the fight in the first place. And that's what they're misunderstanding. The goal of self-defense is to get away, number one, with no bodily harm to you and the loved ones around you. And number two, hopefully to not have your things stolen from you. But to be quite honest, if giving up your wallet gets you away safely, that's still a win in a lot of self-defense situations. So let's look at what this technique is actually teaching. Now, in this video, you're seeing people go, hey, stay back, stay back, stay back. And I want you to think about that in the context of where you're using it. If you are, say you're at a club or a bar or at a movie theater, and you are in a situation where a guy's getting hot, he's getting angry with you, right? And you're like, hey, please stay back, please stay back. I don't want to fight you, please stay back, right? You're consciously de-escalating the situation, which is number one, key, de-escalation. But more importantly, you're setting a very clear parameter and understanding to the people around you and to the cameras that may be watching that you are not the aggressor and that you don't want this to become aggressive. So you're letting the people around you know, hey, this person's trying to attack me. I might need help. Is there security here? Okay? You're letting the cameras know later if there's a legal situation that you were not the person who initiated the conflict. You are also in a situation where if that person still has any frame of mind, the likelihood of them continuing to attack you drops significantly. And this is something that people have actually tested through psychology. People who specialize in this have gone into prisons and actually interviewed people who have gone through aggression and SA and like assault and things like that, and talked to them about what will most likely have either triggered them to attack or de-escalated the situation with that person. Okay, I want you to think again from the context of being a woman, and this is big. I want you, if you're a man and you're watching this, I want you to, next time you go out with someone of the opposite sex, next time you go out with a woman, ask her in the middle of the bar, the club, the movie theater, wherever you're at, have her go really loud to you, hey, stop, stop, I don't know you, stop, please stay back, please stay back. Tell me how awkward that is. Tell me how awkward that feels, how weird that makes you feel as a man approaching that woman. If a woman is in a situation where a man is not taking the hint, okay, either he's a dunce and doesn't understand it, and even if it's innocent, or he's someone who is not innocent and he's trying to be an aggressor, okay? A woman doing that to the man in public creates such an awkward environment for that man that the chances are he's not going to continue, okay, the assault or the situation. Made for, stay back. I don't know you, stay back. Please stay away from me, arms out, making it very clear. Bouncers could get involved. The bartender could get involved. A good Samaritan might get involved. Again, the cameras might get involved. And just, again, if that person has any state of mind, the awkwardness of the situation itself should diffuse and stop that person from getting into your personal space. Once again, it's about surviving the altercation before it becomes a fight. 80% of self-defense is stopping the fight or altercation from happening in the first place. If you're the kind of man that having somebody say, stop, please stay back, I don't want to fight, doesn't make you feel awkward in that situation. Something's wrong with you personally. And again, you could be that person that just doesn't care. And then from there, you have to elevate to actual fighting and combat. Well, legally, this arms out, please don't fight, creates a great understanding, again, for having to explain yourself in court, but also so you as a moral human being knows that you don't overreact. You are very clear about when that person is broken into a dangerous part of your personal space. That you know now, oh, he's broken that line, he's broken that personal space, I've made a clear boundary, he's broken it. I now know that I am justified if I have to throw the first punch to make sure I survive. Because the reality is, if you're not trained like Chuck Liddell or Dan Hooker, the best ways to win a street fight is being more aggressive and hitting first and being aggressive after, okay? Cheating better or being better trained like an MMA fighter. But most people aren't MMA fighters, especially when they're taking classes like that. They're learning to avoid the confrontations in the first place. And that's what this lesson with this self-defense technique is actually teaching you. It's not a fight technique, okay? Obviously, if I go stop in a ring where we know we're fighting and we're legally fighting, I'm just going to get punched in the face. That's not the point of the move, okay? I guarantee you, if a woman went up to Chuck Liddell or Dan Hooker in the street and was like, stop, get away from me, they will look at her like she was crazy and walk the other way. Okay? Because they're rational people. Even if another guy did it, if I did it as a man and was like, I don't want to fight, back up, I don't want to fight, they wouldn't swing on me. Now, they might call me some names. They might be like, oh, you suck, you're a little blah, blah, blah. They might call me some rude names and stuff. But my ego is not self-defense. Them hurting my feelings and calling me mean names, even if it ends up online or something, is not a factor in self-defense. My ego is not self-defense. Your ego often gets you into the street fights. And that's not what this is about. It is about avoiding the fight at all costs. And that is what this video is showing. And that is what MMA fighters often misunderstand when they watch self-defense videos. They're always thinking that these techniques are from a fighting perspective, but they're not. They're from the perspective of avoiding the fight or possibly avoiding getting grabbed as you're trying to leave from that fight or from that danger zone area. That is 80% of what self-defense is. Letting bystanders know. Making sure you're legally protected with the police later. That is what they're working on. Not the actual street fight context in which they are actual experts in. And so I just want to point that out, guys. That is a major difference between self-defense and a street fight. You need to understand those differences before you comment and talk trash about these guys practicing their self-defense. Anyways, thank you again for watching this episode of Strike Team Official, where we cover a lot of things: martial arts, self-defense, combat sports as well, history, kata, all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, like, subscribe, sidekick the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Peace.